Hello everybody, this is Hal Weeks for dAigle Auto Harps, coming to you from dAigle Auto Harps, and I thought that I would take the opportunity to make a side-by-side comparison. This one is going to be interesting because I am going to be comparing, this is the new dAigle TAHOMA. I say new because it's been out about a year, and this is actually the prototype. I've been playing this in my lessons quite a bit. It lives here in the shop, and it is, like I said, it's about a year old, so it's pretty well broken in, and it's still got its original strings, so it's got old strings. In comparison today, we're going to be comparing with two other auto harps. One is a vintage 21 chord Oscar Schmidt, which has some of the same build features that give it a characteristic tone. It has the same build features, specifically the bridges, as the TAHOMA. So the vintage B model Oscar Schmidt and a brand new OS 1102AE. This is the Americana model. This is pretty much the current top of the line, debatably so, of the Oscar Schmidt current offerings that is commonly available right now. And I wanted you to hear side by side the tonal differences. Now, I'll tell you straight off, the TAHOMA is going to win. Of course it is. It's a luthier harp, and but I really wanted you to hear the sound of the vintage harp compared to the modern harp. And then I wanted you to hear the TAHOMA compared to the vintage harp and the modern harp. So I thought that this would be a good video. Furthermore, each of these auto harps I want to talk to you about first, and let you know the skinny on what we're seeing with these harps and why we work with them and why I recommend what I do and why I discourage what I don't. And so stick around. At the end, I'm going to play them all side by side. I'm going to play the same tune on all of them in the same key. They're all strung the same. They all have the same tuning schedule, but you'll be able to hear a marked difference. Let me urge you, and I'll try to remember to do this before I play, but in case I forget, I'm going to say it here. Don't listen to these audio comparisons on your phone speakers or on your laptop speakers. They aren't designed to reproduce bass, and that's what we're really comparing here, is especially the bass end of the auto harps. They aren't designed to sound good and to give you a real full shot on this. So if you've got headphones, if you've got earbuds, if you have nice computer speakers, or you can plug your computer or device into your entertainment system or your stereo so that you can really hear what we're talking about. I'm using a really top-notch camera and microphone setup that has really good audio so that you can hear the difference. And this is the system I'm using these days so that you can really hear what I've got here in the shop. So that being said, here I am holding this auto harp. So I'm going to tell you about this one. This one is, first of all, I have to play it in the key of G. So I'm going to play all of them in the key of G. I have to play it in the key of G because it's got one pin that won't hold. And yet, it's a brand new harp. This is only indicative of what we have started to see from Oscar Schmidt auto harps. dAigle auto harps used to be certified Oscar Schmidt reps, but we found that we couldn't stand behind the auto harps, so we stopped selling them. Nevertheless, we still deal with them, especially the vintage ones, and I'll tell you about vintage ones later. But these modern auto harps, and by modern I mean about maybe the past 15 years, somewhere in there, 10 to 15 years, we've started to see a real decline in their quality. And people always want to know which one of this new line is better. And they all are suffering quality control issues coming from overseas and where it's extremely humid. They come over here. I think the wood dries out and the holes shrink. They get loose. We're seeing loose tuning pegs. We're seeing they have this issue with the new tuning pins that they don't fit the wrench right. They provide you with this wrench. And the way it works, of course, you put it on here. You see all this wiggle? That is likely to strip the pin. Furthermore, this wrench, if I take it to another brand new Oscar Schmidt and put it on, it may or may not work. So they're getting a lot of variance from batch to batch. I don't know if their pins are handmade or what, but it's like they have different shapes. And so the wrenches fit them differently, if at all. So if you get one of these, keep the wrench and use the wrench, and don't expect it to last forever. Unfortunately, you get what you pay for. And yeah, these ultra fancy auto harps, really, it's just veneer, folks. The pretty wood on top, the pretty wood on back, it's not solid. It does not represent what is really there. And I think the sound speaks for it best. There are other problems with the cord bar mechanism. This one has been silenced. We've done optimizing work on this one so that it doesn't rattle as much, and the button action is not as high as it used to be. When you get them, they rattle like crazy in here, and they go bang, 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 bang. You'll hear that on this other harp when I get to it. And the distance that you have to push every button is extreme. And so you get one of these harps out of the box, and you've got all this work that you have to do on it, if it's even a good one and it's holding tight. So this is why I discourage the new line of Oscar Schmidts. Now, that being said, let's talk about the vintage. This is a vintage Oscar Schmidt. It's probably about 50 years old. It's still a B model. It's not so far back as the old black models. By the way, avoid those. I don't have one here to play, but there's a lot of problems with those old black ones. So try to avoid those, because you really don't know what you're getting into with them, and there can be all kinds of problems if you don't know what you're doing. Now, on to the B model vintage. These B model vintages, first of all, I want to show you, look at the logo. You see the square, I'm trying to do it in my camera here, the square around the logo, the rectangle around the logo. Some have a rectangle, some have a trapezoid. Those are really good ones. If you get a good one, that the top is flat and the anchor isn't coming out, this is a problem now with 50-year-old vintage auto harps, is that the anchor is starting to ride up out of the slot and it's causing the tops to collapse. We're seeing this now in about half of them. I almost want to say 3/4 of them. Maybe it's not to the place where it's flattening, but if there is any space under here, and I've got other videos, any space under this little corner of the bridge, enough to slide a pin in, that load-bearing edge is going to be collapsing to create that. And that's enough to ruin a good vintage auto harp. So these, the box being this wood part of the auto harp, that's what we call the box, sounds really good. But when you get one of these, if it's a good one, it's going to have old strings on it. It's going to have old felt on it that is going to be in possibly good condition, possibly bad condition, if it's all there. And when I look, can I see that? No. And can a seller see that? No. And do they know to look for that? No. So what do? They look at it and they go, hey, it's in great shape. Which is true. This one is really nice. This one is out of our Angel Harps program. The Angel Harps program is a program whereby folks who have auto harps that they want to pass on, donate them. We keep them. We bring them in. We store them. We fix them up. And we send them out to people in need who want an auto harp and can't afford one. That's the Angel Harp program. You can read about it on our dAigle, autoharp.com. You can read about it on that website. This is one that is getting ready to be sent out to a lucky recipient. And yes, they're getting a vintage because somebody gave it to us to give to them. If you are in the, now that aside, if you are in the market for a vintage auto harp, we have many here. They're not all online though, because we have not had time to post them all and get them all up. It's a lot of website management, but they are here if you call in on them, and they are in various states. Some of them need to be fixed up. We don't fix them up because some people want to buy them less expensively and then fix them up themselves. Some of them we do fix up and sell them that way. Others we wait for you to buy them and then we find out what you want done to them and say, well, this one's going to need new felt, this one's going to need, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're looking for vintage auto harps, we got them. So you can contact Pete, just call into the office and talk to him about a vintage auto harp. If you're looking for something in an Oscar Schmidt, these are worth saving. They sound good, folks, and you'll be hearing that in a minute. So let me go on and talk about, well, have I covered this? There's still some other things. This one has not had the action done, and so when I play it, you're going to hear a lot of this knocking and rattling. And this is an example of sort of the level that Oscar Schmidt can't go to. They can't go there because if they took the time to work out all this noise like we do, their auto harp would cost another couple $100. So they're trying to make a price point for the educational market, et cetera, et cetera. So when we get these, we optimize it and we quiet that action down, lower the action, make it a little tighter, make it so that it doesn't rattle and bang, sort of like that other one did. Okay, so you should know that about this one. So this is an Angel harp, and I'm going to play it for you in a minute. You'll hear its sound. Now, the TAHOMA. The TAHOMA is our latest model at dAigle Auto Harps, although there is another one in the works. Don't hold your breath. I don't know when it's coming, but this one is designed as our entry-level model, and it is several $100s less than the one next to it in the echelon. We make 10 different models now of auto harps here at dAigle Auto Harps, and this is the entry level one. And I think it's worth every penny that you pay. It has some advantages over the Oscars, and in a minute you're going to hear that the sound is, that's the proof of the pudding right there. But in addition to the sound, there is no upgrade. I've got a list here. I don't want to miss any points because it's so hard to remember them in a video like this while I'm just talking. There is no upgrading to do. When you get our harp, the action is good. The felts are good. It's got fine tuners. It's got brand new strings on it. You don't have to worry about any of that. You get something that is playable right out of the box, and it sounds yummy. And you will want to play it. It is an heirloom quality instrument, one that you're going to be proud to hand on to your chillin', and your chillin's chillin', and they'll all be chillin' with this auto harp for decades and generations to come, and I'm not lying about that. This one's got a strap on it. This one is just because when I teach, I need to be able to pick it up and use it, and so I put that on there. This is not stock on any of our auto harps, but you can get it if you want it. It's like an extra $30 installed. So there's that. But anyway, another feature is that it's got the dAigle flatline fine tuners. Fine tuners are awesome. Instead of tuning everything up here, when you've got to just go that little last notch on your tuner, you just grab your little wrench. It's a little Allen wrench, and you use the Allen screw down here, and boop, it's in tune. I tuned each of these auto harps twice this morning to get ready to make this video, and I did those with fine tuners. There's fine tuners on the new Oscar Schmidt over there. That one I used the tuning wrench, the fine tuners, to tune it with, and this one I used the fine tuners to tune it with because they're really fast. I can tune the whole harp in about 2 minutes. Go through every string, boom, it's in tune. A dAigle will stay in tune for, well, it depends. Your mileage may vary depending on where you live and your weather conditions and everything and how much you play and how hard you play, but here they stay in tune for weeks. And they're playable for a month. I might tune once a month. Leaf spring bar system. Can't show you this on, well, I suppose I can show it to you on this auto harp right here. This is a Cascade. This is in a different category, but I'm going to show you what this looks like and see if I can get this on camera. On a Cascade, this comes right off, and so that helps me to show you. But as you can see, it doesn't use springs that can pop off and roll into the carpet and go into the refrigerator, and the cat grabs them and runs away with them. These springs stay in place, and they are lighter in action than even the lightweight springs that we put on to Oscars to make the action easier to use. It's this little tabby right here. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try to get a close-up of it, but it's this little flap of mylar, and the chord bar, first of all, this pops right in here, and then that goes right on there, and it's always there, it's always ready. It is the lightest action that I've found on an auto harp that is currently made. So that's the leaf spring bar system, and it's set up so that the action is lower. The chord bars only move a little bit when you push them, which saves you kinetic energy in your hand over the period of playing for an hour, and you'll want to play for hours. They're American made. They come with a complete warranty, complete guarantee, 30-day guarantee, money back. If you order one and we send it to you and for some reason you don't like it, send it back, no questions asked. And the warranty, it's the lifetime limited warranty to the original owner against manufacturing defects and materials for the life of the original owner. That, of course, doesn't cover worn out felts or strings, but it's covered bumper to bumper. And speaking of bumper to bumper, these auto harps are less expensive than automobiles, and they'll be around for a lot longer. You get a lot more mileage out of them. So what are you waiting for? What are we waiting for? Now I'm going to play them for you. And I had it in my mind to play with these brass picks that I'm playing with today. So we'll see if I can hang with that and play you some auto harp. And I'm going to work up the line and then go back to the beginning so that you hear the stark difference. So I'm going to start with the new top of the line Oscar Schmidt. This is newly tuned. I'm going to play it in G. Tuned it twice. Let me just remind you once again, don't listen through your headphones, through your phone speakers. Don't listen through your laptop speakers. Listen on headphones. Listen on good computer speakers. Big ones, preferably. Listen through your home's entertainment system. Get some good sound coming out. And when assessing auto harp sound, listen especially to the bass strings, which I'm trying to hit enough that you can hear them so that you can compare the resonance of the instrument. there you go, folks. You be the judge. You decide where you want your investment to be. If you are at all impressed by the time that I take to make these videos, para tu, for you, and you want to give something back as I give to the community, you can join over at Patreon for a few bucks a month. Kick in a few bucks a month. What you will see over there is you will see these videos early and unedited. So you'll see all the mess ups that I make and how out of order they are and how scattered I really am and whatever else might happen while I'm actually sitting here making the videos. It's all there hanging out for you to see. And then you can see the nice edited version that I put up for the public over here on YouTube. Anyway, that's the purpose of my patreon.com/HalWeeks, where you can kick in and give something back to me as I give to you. So there you go. So that's, you be the judge, folks. The new pretty Oscar Schmidt, the vintage Oscar Schmidt that it sounds great. Or the TAHOMA, which has the full warranty and all the bells and whistles. You don't have to fix it up to play it. And it's all ready for you. What do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe this video. I'm Hal Weeks for Stalking the Wild Auto Harp. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.